No. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
I'm Liz.
This is Surly Amy from skepchick.org.
I'm Keith from Sydney, Australia.
Hello, I'm Daryl Ray, author of Sex and God and The God Virus.
This is Rebecca Watson of skepchick.org.
I'm Vivian Wheeler from Planned Parenthood.
I am Devin Napoli from Planned Parenthood.
I am Richard Carrier.
I am Monette Richards from Secular Woman.
I am Stephen Olson from Carl Sagan's Dance Party.
I'm JT Eberhard, and I'm a he-thinker who loves the she-thinkers.
I'm Debbie Goddard. I'm from the Center for Inquiry and African Americans for Humanism, and I'm a human thinker.
I'm a Faisal, and I'm a he-thinker, she-thinker, they-thinker, it-thinker.
Hello, everybody. This is David Fitzgerald, and oh yes, I am a she-thinker.
Thing on that.
What was that?
I said I love what David Fitzgerald said for us for the intro. It's great.
I know, I love our new intro. It's awesome. Hello and welcome to Secular She-Thinkers. I'm your host, Story, joined by my co-host, Dirty Nerdy.
Hello.
Tonight we're talking about Disney and queer theory. Woo!
Why did we make it scary? This isn't Halloween.
Woo!
Woo!
That's better.
Yeah, you used a weird mood for your woo.
I don't know. It could be because I'm sick.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna sit a little further away from you.
Yeah, I got a fever and a sore throat, so that's fun.
You know what? I had a fever late Wednesday night, and then it went away, so...
You're to blame.
Maybe I am to blame.
All right. What are our segments we have today? So we have Bosses and Trolls, the stupid sexist song, a new That's So Pinteresting, and
I completely forgot about that.
And you're doing it wrong. But first, a word from our sponsor. She-Thinkers is sponsored by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/She-Thinkers. Audible has over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. For every fan who signs up for a free trial, She-Thinkers gets $15. Woo! Woo! It's a great way to help us pay for the podcast, even if you don't have a lot of money. Again, go to audibletrial.com/She-Thinkers to download any free audiobook of your choice. That's SHETHINKERS, She-Thinkers. I had to check and see if Dirty Nerdy had swallowed her drink before I moved to our jingle.
I did need to swallow.
Spitters or quitters.
I'm not going to spit on your laptop. Why would I do that?
Anyway. Let's roast some trolls.
Yay!
Yay!
I love toasted trolls. They're delicious. Okay, so holy shit, advertisement? What? I'm sorry, I hate ads.
Fucking ads.
Fucking Uganda passed their anti-gay law finally.
Boo.
It's been long enough.
Oh wait, hang on.
Should we not want? So apparently they took out the death penalty part and said that gay people will only get life in prison.
Oh, only.
Okay, you'll let me live. That's okay.
Live a life in prison for being gay.
So, but apparently the Prime Minister opposed the vote, saying that there weren't enough MPs present, so there might be a chance that it won't go into effect just yet, but, fuck off, Uganda, you're still a troll.
Yeah.
Did you hear I think it was a Ugandan government official, somebody asked, what about child rape? Isn't that more of a concern than gays? And they were like, no, when a man rapes a little girl, that's more natural than...
What?
Yeah.
What?
He said that rape is more natural than gay sex.
No! No, that is unacceptable.
Yeah,
unacceptable!
Why don't we have that as a job?
I don't know. I only have so much jobs.
You're falling down on your job.
I know.
I blame you.
Yeah.
So, so fuck Uganda, or at least the anti-gay parts of Uganda. And
the legislature of Uganda.
Yeah, and I don't want to discount the effect that American anti-gay groups have had.
Oh, hell yes.
countries in Africa, especially in Uganda. They send missionaries over there that specifically preach against gay people, and that just like stokes the fire against them. So fuck them too. What is it? The International House of Prayer, I think, was.
That's one of them.
That's one of the groups that they'll claim that they don't support the bill, but they're the ones that are behind the legislation. So yeah, it's a big fat lie.
Fucking Americans.
I know. Fucking around in other people's countries.
Yep.
Come on. All right. What's our next troll?
All right. This next one, you're the one who added this one.
Am I?
The racist teacher. You remember this one?
I remember this one. I only had internet for one day, so.
Yeah, no, Dirty Nerdy and I are. This is like the most prepared we've ever been for a show. I am so excited, guys. Like, for reals. I can't wait to get to our main topic. So
the teacher in Ohio told African American student that we do not need another black president.
You know, it's not like we've had 30 plus white presidents or anything. Yeah. One black president's enough.
And all of the male. You know, I think we don't need any more white male presidents. Let's like have some women in there and some more people of color. Let's do that.
Some queer presidents.
Let's have some queer presidents. I think we've had too many straight presidents.
Yeah, we don't need another straight president.
Yeah, we don't need another one. I'm gonna go and get a teaching job and tell all my straight students that.
Yeah.
Although that still wouldn't be anywhere near as bad as this, seeing how straight people aren't, you know,
they're the
persecuted.
I was gonna say they're the privileged group in our society.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Didn't this teacher, if I remember when you were telling me about it, hasn't this teacher had other shit in the past too?
There have been 4 other reprimands, and one of them was from 2008 for an inappropriate racial comment. So, you know, racist. Like, what else are you going to call that? The technical term is inappropriate racial comment, but everyone knows it just means that they were being a racist.
Yeah.
So, I don't even remember this teacher's name. He was just some teacher in Ohio. But the school board president is like, we take diversity in our school seriously. They go off on a bit on tolerance, and I hate that word, but, you know, we'll give them some props for at least suspending the teacher. You know, they've done that.
Yeah. Why would I mean, I'm trying to figure out how this came up, because it just says in the story that there was a student who had presidential aspirations, and then this teacher told them, we don't need another black president.
Yeah, that just makes it even worse.
So fucked up on top of it.
Like, I don't know. A student of yours comes up and says, I want to be president, and you're like, we don't need another one of you up there. Like, what? Do you tell women who want to be engineers in your class, we don't need any more women engineers? Like, actually, you know what? Don't answer that question, because I'm pretty sure it will be yes.
Does. Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Next troll. Oh god, this one pisses me off the most, probably.
Oh, yeah, it did. Okay, so
fucking Texas, man.
In Texas, they are literally treating a woman like an incubator.
Yeah. Not figuratively, literally, using a woman as an incubator.
She is brain dead. She was found blue in the face on the floor without a pulse at home, and her husband, basically she was rushed to the hospital and everything, but she couldn't be saved. But apparently she was pregnant, and they're thinking the baby can be saved. And she has, I'm not sure if she has an actual DNR order, but she has discussed it with her husband and her family that she does not want to be resuscitated. She doesn't want to be kept on life support in these types of situations. So he wanted to pull the plug, but apparently there's a Texas law saying that if you're pregnant, you can't. So basically this family is having to just watch their brain dead, this woman who is dead by any other rights, she is dead, just be kept barely alive in order to incubate a baby. Yeah, and she was less than 3 months pregnant. I'd have to look for the actual weeks, but she was less than 3 months pregnant.
So it's not like, I mean, you're basically forcing this family to go against their will for an infant who wasn't even viable yet.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
and they don't know how much damage. They don't know how long she was without air.
Yeah, so
they don't know how much damage was done to the baby at that point, and not only that, but guess who's gonna foot the bill for this? The family.
Yeah.
It's like this decision.
If the state of Texas is forcing them to keep her on life support, then the state of Texas should have to pay for it.
Exactly. But the decision is being made for them by the state, by people who aren't even going to pay for it.
Yeah, the bill isn't being paid
You're
for
not
them.
the one who has to live with this decision.
Yeah.
They are. So the state of Texas should just fuck off already.
Seriously.
I think I say that like at least once a week.
We're always telling the state of Texas to fuck off.
Ugh, I can't believe I live here.
Yep.
God. Okay, the boy is
let's
listening.
turn this state blue, motherfucker.
The boy is listening downstairs because he actually came over tonight, and if you're listening right now, can we move? I want to move. We have friends in Portland. Let's move there.
Okay. We'll have to move with you though, so the show can keep going.
Oh yeah. Well, we can Skype.
Yeah. All right, last troll.
I didn't read this one. Did you read it?
I did.
Okay. One of us did.
Our last troll is Dell, who has been found basically producing a software that allows people to explicitly block LGBTQ websites.
I just now read the headline, and it says, a tool to block all gay websites.
Yeah.
It sounds hilarious.
It does. I mean, what's crazy about this is it's not blocking porn, although that's what a lot of these people will claim is what it's for. What it's actually blocking is like resource websites and access to things that could actually help students or employees. And it's just ridiculous. There's nothing offensive about LGBT in and of itself. You know, whatever restrictions you're placing on quote-unquote straight websites, you can place those same ones on LGBT rather than explicitly, you know, focusing on them and giving that option to people.
Well, it's like how until recently Google didn't have the autocomplete thing for bisexual. It was for bisexual, right?
It was for all of it.
It was for all of them?
Yeah, it was for
Okay.
gay, lesbian,
I couldn't
bisexual,
remember.
or transgender, yeah.
They didn't have the autocomplete until like 6 months ago for it, which is weird.
I think they only did that. They did it for the DOMA ruling.
Oh, yeah.
And that was when it first became autocomplete. I think only gay and lesbian are autocomplete, though. I think bisexual and transgender are still not autocomplete.
Hold on, I can check that.
Yeah. Google that.
Let me Google that shit.
Do a something search.
I can spell. All it does is bisexual. It doesn't autocomplete. It has bisexual humor.
And that's probably because I've searched for it before.
Not even kidding. The only autocomplete they had for that was bisexual humor.
I can almost guarantee that's because I've searched for it before. So, that's fun.
Yeah, it's not doing any autocomplete for it.
Nope.
Fuck you, Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dell. So those are our 4 trolls this week.
So who do you think's our biggest troll this week?
Well, we've got Uganda, a racist Ohio teacher, Texas, and Dell.
What do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with Texas because that one pisses me off the most. I mean, the Uganda bill pisses me off, but it hasn't technically passed just yet because it hasn't been signed. So I guess I'll wait until that is signed or forced through some other way by the legislature. I'm tempted to go with the racist teacher, but
he's getting punished.
Yeah. Texas is the one that pisses me off the most, so that's my vote.
All right, I'm kind of between Uganda and Texas because they both piss me off quite a bit. Dell, it's like, yeah, you squeaked into our troll ranks this week. And the racist Ohio teacher, the teacher is a big troll, but he's being punished and shit, so that makes me feel good. I guess since you already voted for Texas, I'll vote for Uganda.
So we can split it.
This never happens.
Never ever.
We always end up having a clear winner.
Nope, that's true.
What do we have for trolls this week?
Well, I guess it seems fitting that we had Uganda as one of the winners because...
Winders?
Shut up, I'm drunk and on cold medicine. We have George Takei He's going to deal with them this week.
Yay!
Hello, I'm George Takei. You are a douchebag. That's right, a douchebag. You are always going to be a total douchebag.
Yay, George Takei.
Okay. I didn't know if there was more of George Takei saying that you're a douchebag.
A total douchebag. Just in case there was any doubt about it.
Yeah, just in case.
Alright, let's move on to the bosses, because those make us happy.
Yay!
Yay!
Bosses make me happy. Alright, the first boss, well, there's kind of two bosses mixed up in one here, because we have Phoenix. Phoenix is becoming the first city to end chronic homelessness among veterans. And then Utah is on track to end homelessness completely in their state by, what's the year?
2015. So a year and some change.
With this one simple idea.
Fucking upvote headlines. Or Upworthy.
Upworthy, you mean?
Whatever.
Actually, that's making fun of those shitty ads.
Yeah.
That lose weight with this one simple idea.
I guess there's that too.
Yeah. Alright, so in Utah, they're doing it by, they're basically doing this Housing First program. Like, most places that have some sort of program to help the homeless eventually have a home is they give you, like, temporary shelter type of things, and they want you to take care of the things in your life that are, like, getting a job, things like that, that are outside of your homelessness. That may have contributed to it, but, you know, isn't necessarily your homelessness. Well, in Utah, they changed it to where they're just giving you a place to live, a permanent, that's where you live. You now have a home address, and then you can work on everything else. And this seems to actually work a lot better than the other way, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I love that.
There are so many things you can't do if you don't have a permanent shelter. Like, mini shelter, like a lot of people try to stay at temporary shelters. Well, it's hard to have a job if you have to be at the shelter by 3 p.m. in order to make sure you have a room for the night.
Yeah. What I love about the Utah story is basically they calculated how much someone who is homeless costs the state and how much giving that homeless person an apartment costs the state. And they were like, oh, what do you know? It's cheaper to just give homeless people apartments. Let's just give them fucking apartments and call it a day.
But basically, right now, Wyoming has, I believe, the highest homeless population in the country, and they're looking at repeating what Utah did. And I really wish that all of the states would. There are a few other cities in the United States that are doing this Housing First program, but I think Utah is the only place to do it statewide, and they started it in 2005.
Yeah.
So if they're going to be ending homelessness by 2015, then that means it took 10 years to end homelessness in that state.
Woot.
So it's like, why can't we do this in all the other states?
Because
really?
welfare queens, blah, 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 other conservative bullshit, something.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't care. Give everyone a home.
Yep.
I don't understand why poor has to mean homeless and starving. Why can't poor just mean I can't afford to buy that extra boat?
Because capitalism. Fucking capitalism.
You want me to go full commie on this show? I'll go full commie.
We need to have a full commie episode.
Alright.
How have we not done that already?
I don't know.
We're both like raging pinkos.
Okay. And then I don't want to forget Phoenix, because they're basically doing the same thing but with veterans. And I wish they would expand it to be everybody. But, you know, at least they're taking care of the veterans, and that's awesome, too.
Maybe that was the compromise they had to go with.
Maybe.
Most people aren't willing to shit on veterans, so they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yay, Phoenix in Utah and any other city and or state that is doing this program.
Woot.
So, who's our next boss?
It's actually something good happening in Texas, which I guess balances out the shitty story we just dealt with.
Does it? Does it really?
A little bit.
Okay.
So, there's a federal judge who's agreed to hear a case that was filed by a gay couple in Texas, which could theoretically overturn the constitutional ban on same-sex marriage in Texas. Which means, you know, who knows, Texas could soon become the next state that has marriage equality, because every time this has gone up in other states, there's nothing that it can stand on legally from all the precedent that's already been set. So, woo, that's how the last 2 or 3 states that have marriage equality have happened, basically. And so they're like, well, the constitutional ban is unconstitutional, so tough shit.
Yeah.
Get over yourself.
Which, you know what, I like that better than voting on it, because
I do too.
I don't think people's civil rights should be voted on.
Yeah.
Like, should they be treated as people? I don't know. Let's take a vote. Like, no, they should just be treated as people.
Straight people don't have to go door to door asking people to vote for them to be able to marry.
I know. I want to see straight people have to go door to door and ask them to vote. Ask everybody in their neighborhood, like, is it okay if we get married? Okay. If we get a majority vote on this, we'll get married. Like, no, they don't have to do that.
Right.
Gay people shouldn't have to either. It's bullshit. And so I rejoice when this gets sent to court. I'm like, yay!
Especially now, because, like I said, there's so much legal precedent.
I know.
There's nothing holding this back, really. So, hooray! Wasn't it, it was on Wednesday when we found out that there have been, the number of states that have marriage equality has doubled this year.
Yep.
Like, last year there were 9 states that had marriage equality, and now there's 18 right now.
Well, 17 and a half.
Yeah, whatever.
One of the states is not quite there.
Well, no, I mean, Utah, like, it's done. They're issuing marriage licenses, so...
All right, I'll put it at 18.
Yeah, it's 18 now.
Plus DC, 18 and a half.
18 and a half.
Well, Puerto Rico, let's get them in on this.
Seriously.
All right.
So, yay. I'm going to be super stoked if Texas gets marriage equality. That'd be pretty fucking awesome.
I will rub it in my old manager's face.
Sweet.
Because he asked me, this is before the boy and I got engaged, but he asked me, like, if I was planning on getting married, and I jokingly, well, kind of joking, I was like, I'm not getting married till the gays are allowed. And he goes, well, that'll be another 100 years. And I was like, really?
Suck on that.
This was about a year and a half ago when everything was actually going up to vote during the elections, and all of them won.
Yep.
And so I was like, bam, in your face. We're winning. And the courts won't take it much longer.
Nope.
So, yeah. If Texas, I want Texas to make it, to reverse the constitutional ban within the next year.
That'd be pretty awesome.
So when the boy and I get married, I can actually be like, yeah, I waited until the gays were allowed.
Yeah, hopefully that'll work out. Then,
Hopefully.
Then Chris and I can claim the same thing.
Either way, I'm not giving up my wedding date. So.
No, Pi Day, man.
It is. It's ultimate Pi Day.
Yeah.
Better than regular. Okay, who's our next boss?
Our next boss is the state of Connecticut. Yeah, this is cool. This is our obligatory trans story that we have every week. So the Connecticut Insurance Department has ordered all health insurance companies that provide insurance in their state. They're now required to completely cover gender transition. So not only counseling and hormone therapy, but also surgery and anything else that their doctors deem is necessary for their patient's transition. So that's fucking awesome. I forget where I saw it, but they calculated how much it would cost to include this in pretty much all the states, and it would be like pennies per person paying into their insurance.
I would pay pennies for your transition.
I think you've paid more than pennies for my vagina.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
You own 3% of my future vagina.
That's right, I do.
The best 3%.
Yay!
So, hooray, Connecticut, go you.
Yay, Connecticut!
So if you're trans and in the States and don't have a lot tying you down to your state, maybe you should move to Connecticut and get some health insurance.
But I'm moving to Portland. You can't move to Connecticut.
That's okay, I've already got my surgery scheduled, so.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Alright, so who's our next boss?
Our last boss, I just love the headline I put for this one. Oklahoma atheists save Christmas.
All right, how did the atheist save Christmas? I want to hear this one. Okay. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a young family, Tiffany Waite and her husband, and their 7-month-old baby went to the Bible Baptist Church, who had...
I'm sorry. Can we just sit and ponder for a moment how funny it is when churches call themselves some form of Bible church?
Yeah.
Like...
Is there a non-Bible church out there?
What do they think all the other Christians are using? I just want to know.
The Torah.
Well, isn't it the Torah is kind of part of the Old Testament?
Just the Torah.
Just the Torah.
Jewish Christians. Jews for Jesus.
Those exist.
I know they do.
All right, you can go on with the story. I just want that to linger.
You just want to make fun of the Baptists?
Yes, I want it to linger in our listeners' minds why that is.
It's okay. Go ahead. I'm always in support of making fun of the Baptists.
Okay, because they're silly.
They are silly. So they had, the church had some kind of toy shop, quote unquote, that was like a charity thing where you could go and you could buy a toy for your kid if you were a family in need. You're not actually buying it, you're just like pretending to buy it, I guess. I don't know, I've seen that with food banks and things like that before, where it still has the shopping experience, but
you're just getting
it. So, for some weird-ass reason, the church volunteers insisted that Tiffany hand her baby over to them, and she couldn't, it's a 7-month-old baby, it's not like you're just going to hand that off to a stranger.
Oh, here you go.
Right? Oh, I have to hand my child to you in order to get a toy?
I don't know, my brother-in-law, who is a Jewish atheist, just handed his baby over to my mom this weekend to get blessed or something, or dedicated. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's a family member.
He was like, what is this? And my sister was like, I don't know, a baptism or something. He's like, but we have the house to ourselves, right? So
yeah, no, I don't fault is it your brother-in-law?
Yeah,
I don't fault your brother-in-law for that. Whatever, they're gonna say magical words over the kid and we get the house for the weekend? Sure, fuck it, yeah, here you go.
And she's too young to even remember this, so
exactly.
Whatever.
I can understand not picking that fight. That's not necessarily a fight worth fighting over.
I would pick that fight.
I probably would too, but I can understand if it wasn't worth it for you.
Yeah, if you just really wanted the house.
So anyway, this church fought with her over handing her child, and she didn't know if it was they wanted to bless her baby or something. They wouldn't tell her why. They just said it was how the way things were done. And so she was like, no, I don't want to give my baby to you.
Maybe they just didn't allow children in the place. I don't know. That's weird.
This is when they were checking out or whatever. So this was at the end.
That's really weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre. So anyway, they left and they didn't get anything. So enter Oklahoma Atheists, which is an atheist group in Oklahoma, obviously, who showed up at their house with toys, dinner, gift cards, donated money.
God.
They turned it out.
I need to get in touch with the Oklahoma Atheists.
Seriously. So that's just awesome. And now, of course, the church is trying to backpedal and talk their way out of it, but. Yeah, go atheists. Woot.
Apparently, all right, I'm reading this off of the Friendly Atheist blog post about it.
Yeah, that's where we have
it. Apparently on one of the news stories about it, I think it's on the news story or on their Facebook page, somebody from the community posted, "Rules are rules," said Jesus never. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
But kudos to the Oklahoma Atheists for saving Christmas for that family. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty awesome.
I wonder if the family reached out to them or if they just heard about it on the news.
I think, it doesn't say how the atheists heard. It doesn't say how the atheists heard about it, but I'm glad that they did, however it happened. So.
All right. So who do you think should be the boss of this week?
I don't know. It's hard for me to pick. All of these are really awesome.
Yeah.
The bosses are always harder for me to pick than the trolls. Usually there's one troll that really pisses me off, and so I already know what it's going to be. But with the bosses, I'm just oh, you all make me so happy.
I just go with whatever nobody else voted for. I mean, no, I don't do that. I think long and hard about my decision. Okay.
That's why you always go last, right?
Yeah, that's why I always go last. Because I'm thinking so hard.
All right, so we have people fighting homelessness, Texas judge, Connecticut, and Oklahoma atheists. I don't know. It's hard for me to choose. The Connecticut one's pretty cool. I think the homeless one probably helps the most people, so that's cool too. I guess I'll support my fellow trans people, and I'll go with Connecticut, because more states need to do that. Seriously.
That's true. All right, I'm gonna go with. All right, I'm gonna split my vote.
Oh no.
That's okay, right?
So
We've
half a
never
vote
done
for
this.
each? Never.
All right, half a vote for each. I only have one vote. I'm gonna go with 75% of my vote to fighting homelessness, and then I have to do quick math. And I'm a girl, so you know how that goes.
Math is hard, right, Barbie?
And then I'm gonna go with 15% to Connecticut, and then 10% to Oklahoma atheists. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I mean, the Texas judge, that's cool, but all they're doing right now is setting a hearing.
It's only potentially cool right now.
Yeah, it's got some potential there, but we gotta wait for the ball to drop to know what the actual energy usage is.
Yep.
That's a physics joke, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The boy will tell me later whether or not I said that right. I don't know. All right, so that's how I'm doing it.
All right, so Connecticut wins, I think, then, right?
Yeah, Connecticut wins.
Connecticut's a boss.
Oh my God, we have one boss.
One boss. Yay.
Okay.
Oh, so never mind. I was gonna say I know a fun physics joke, but I'll say it quick.
Okay, say it
before
quick.
we have our boss speech.
Do it.
So when there's a glass that's filled halfway with water, the pessimist says that it's half empty, the optimist says that it's half full, and the engineer says that the glass is twice as big as it needs to be.
That's an engineering joke, not a physics joke. But it's still funny.
Whatever. Maybe the boy will like it.
He will. He'll hear it in like 20 seconds because of the lag.
Yeah. All right, so we've got our boss speech. Yay. This is Ash Beckham, who is giving a speech called Coming Out of Your Closet. We hope you like it.
I'm going to talk to you tonight about coming out of the closet. And not in the traditional sense, not just the gay closet. I think we all have closets. Your closet may be telling someone you love her for the first time, or telling someone that you're pregnant, or telling someone you have cancer, or any of the other hard conversations we have throughout our lives. All a closet is a hard conversation. And although our topics may vary tremendously, the experience of being in and coming out of the closet is universal. It is scary, and we hate it, and it needs to be done. Several years ago, I was working at the Southside Walnut Cafe, a local diner in town. And during my time there, I would go through phases of militant lesbian intensity. Not shaving my armpits, quoting Ani DeFranco lyrics as gospel, and depending on the bagginess of my cargo shorts and how recently I had shaved my head, the question would often be sprung on me, usually by a little kid. Are you a boy or are you a girl? And there would be an awkward silence at the table. I'd clench my jaw a little tighter, hold my coffee pot with a little more vengeance. The dad would awkwardly shuffle his newspaper and the mom would shoot a chilling stare at her kid. But I would say nothing, and I would seethe inside. And it got to the point that every time I walked up to a table that had a kid anywhere between 3 and 10 years old, I was ready to fight. And that is a terrible feeling. So I promised myself the next time I would say something, I would have that hard conversation. So within a matter of weeks, it happens again. Are you a boy or are you a girl? Familiar silence, but this time I'm ready. And I am about to go all Women's Studies 101 on this table. I've got my Betty Friedan quotes. I've got my Gloria Steinem quotes. I even got this little bit from Vagina Monologues I'm going to do. So I take a deep breath, and I look down, and staring back at me is a 4-year-old girl in a pink dress. Not a challenge to a feminist duel, just a kid with a question. Are you a boy or are you a girl? So I take another deep breath, squat down next to her and say, hey, I know it's kind of confusing, my hair is short like a boy's, and I wear boys' clothes, but I'm a girl. And you know how sometimes you like to wear a pink dress, and sometimes you like to wear your comfy jammies? Well, I'm more of a comfy jammies kind of girl. And this kid looks me dead in the eye without missing a beat and says, my favorite pajamas are purple with fish. Can I get a pancake, please? And that was it. Just, oh, okay, you're a girl. How about that pancake? It was the easiest hard conversation I have ever had.
Audible.com is offering a free 30-day trial for you, the listeners of Shethinkers. To check out their service and download a free audiobook of your choice, go to audibletrial.com/Shethinkers. This week, we personally recommend Cinderella Ate My Daughter, Dispatches from the Front Lines of the Girly Girl Culture by Peggy Orenstein. She talks about the increasingly gender-divided world that children are growing up in, from Disney princesses to Bratz dolls, and what effects these messages can have on young girls, and better yet, how feminist parents can fight against it. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/Shethinkers. Again, that's audibletrial.com/Shethinkers for any free audiobook of your choice.
You can get that off the table later.
Okay,
right?
We're back.
With paper towels?
Yeah.
I didn't just spill whipped cream vodka everywhere.
Nope.
And then make Dory lick it off my fingers.
No, not at all.
No, that did not just happen.
We're nothing if not professional here on Shethinkers.
So we're nothing.
I guess that's one way to look at it, but... Alright, are you ready for our stupid sexist song?
Are you ready for a stupid sexist song? What is it tonight?
We're making fun of a band we both really, really love, actually.
Damn, who is it who is it tonight?
It's Weezer.
Oh, Weezer! I love Weezer.
Yeah, I do too, but we both agreed, I think it was when we were on our road trip back from Skepticon that we were like, oh my god, we need to make this a stupid sexist song.
I think it was, because we were listening to Weezer a lot. So I expect to get a lot of strongly worded emails from Weezer fans, because Weezer fans are pretty chill. They don't send hate mail, do they?
I don't think so. Just strongly worded letters.
How dare you, ma'am, or madam, for whom it may concern.
Well, there's only ladies on this show, so
I don't know.
All right, let's just get into it.
Okay.
All right, let's do this.
she talks too much, apparently. Because, that
Girls talk too much? I've
those
never
women
heard that before.
Talking a lot, having a big mouth. Sorry, go ahead.
Alright. There's a lot of problems with this song.
So many problems with it.
And I still love Weezer, even though they have this song. I try to, write it off, when you're all butthurt after you break up, and you're I'm gonna go find my own partner with blackjack and hookers.
Forget the blackjack.
Forget the blackjack. Whatever.
They seem to have a lot of butthurt breakup songs, though.
They do. Especially their early stuff is butthurt breakup songs.
All of Pinkerton?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just laughed at you, Weezer.
Yep.
Whether you're funny or not. Ha! That's what you get.
Because feminists don't have a sense of humor, right? I don't know.
I didn't find any of that funny.
Nope, not at all.
What? Wait.
So she's not allowed to laugh at anyone else's jokes, and she's not allowed to look attractive when you're out of town.
Yep. Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you in a band? Aren't you out of town all the time?
All the time.
So she's just supposed to not go anywhere?
Or wear makeup at all? Or
I mean, I don't wear makeup much, but if I go to the club or something, I'm gonna wear makeup. And you know what? I haven't gone in a while because of my back, but I used to go salsa dancing a lot, and not with the boy. With this other guy that I went salsa dancing with, because he's an awesome dancer. So
I need to learn how to dance backwards. I can dance if I lead, but I can't dance backwards.
You can dance if you want to.
Yeah.
You can leave your friends behind.
It's true.
Alright, but yeah, I would be really mad if, even though I don't wear makeup that much, if anyone were to tell me, no, when I'm gone, you leave the makeup on the shelf, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm wearing makeup.
I'd wear even more makeup.
Yeah, I'm gonna cake that shit on.
I'm gonna wear that shit like I'm in middle school.
Right? Alright.
There's that lyric we were talking about.
There we go.
It sounds like he's just really insecure.
Yeah. That's what it says to me.
That's what I always think about jealousy. I just think it's it just shows insecurity more than anything else.
You may as well have had Neelix from the first 2 seasons in this song.
We know you hate Neelix.
I hate Neelix.
I hate early Neelix, I guess.
I don't like him that much later on in the show either. He's annoying.
He grows on me. Like a fungus, as my mother would say.
Okay.
Alright. More jealousy issues.
Yay. She's looking at other people. Oh my god.
She finds other people sexually attractive besides me.
Lord knows I never look at other people, right, boy? Oh, wait, he's not up here to defend himself.
I think we do more than look at other people.
I look really hard.
Yeah, intensely.
I look very intensely at other people. Around and around. I don't think I could date Rivers Cuomo.
Nope.
He wouldn't like me.
At least not in the 90s.
Alright. He says she says that for anyone, and I just want to know, what is she saying? That she finds them attractive? I'm confused a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what she's supposed to be saying for anyone.
Is she just saying pleasantries to everyone? Because,
she's laughing at their jokes.
Because, women are basically socialized to do that. We're supposed to be peacemakers for everyone and make everyone feel comfortable. That's how we're socialized. So.
I know this is off topic, but do you feel comfortable? You feel alright up here?
Yeah.
You're good? Okay.
It's a little warm.
Okay. I'll turn on the fan later.
Okay.
want to point out that I'm laughing at Dory's jokes right now instead of the boys. So if he were following in Weezer's footsteps here, he would have to tell me, hey, 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 hey.
Hey, 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 hey. I don't know what that means, but...
I think it means it's over, but he just wanted to...
It seems weird that,
I don't know.
that River Cuomo's not even breaking up with this girl. He's like telling you to go break up with her for him.
It is like middle school. Oh my god.
Maybe this is the middle school song. Let's go with that.
It makes me feel better about Weezer.
Yeah.
Alright.
This is from their Blue album, isn't it? Like their very first one? I think.
One of their first ones.
It's either the Blue album or Pinkerton.
It was one of the colors. It's not Pinkerton.
No, it's not Pinkerton. You're right. I think it is Blue then. So it's their first album. So we'll call it middle school. Chalk it up to that. I think the lyrics just repeat at this point.
Okay.
So
I guess we could listen to the rest of it.
Just because we like listening to Weezer.
Just because we like Weezer. But if you want to get to queer Disney,
yay, queer theory.
Alright, so do you want to leave it there?
Sure.
Okay, we can leave it there.
We beat up on Weezer enough. We love you, Weezer, even if you have this song.
There's at least one other Weezer song.
Yeah, we couldn't remember what the other Weezer song was, but we're coming back for you at some point, Weezer.
Yeah. You know what?
You're not perfect.
I'll bite
You're
the bullet
close
on
to
this
perfect.
one. I'll take one for the team and listen to Weezer all week next week.
That's a tough.
I know.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough job to do, but you know I'm up for it. So
I think I just do that all the time anyway, though.
Okay.
They're like my go-to band.
Yay.
I can't be in a bad mood and listen to Weezer.
Unless that song is playing.
Yeah. And even then, I still sing along with it because it's still catchy.
Yeah, and I just make fun of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, Weezer, you're so insecure. Okay.
Jealousy's unattractive. All right. What's next? Oh, that's so Pinteresting.
Okay, what's so Pinteresting this week, Dory?
So we're even talking about like breaking this into a different segment, like cooking with poverty, cheap recipes.
Cooking with poverty. Yeah,
it's like Martha Stewart, but not.
Yeah, we've been kind of poor this week, so I was looking up a bunch of like recipes that are really super cheap. So.
And I mean, everybody's poor right now because it's fucking Christmas, and everybody's stressed out about finances during Christmas, and like, okay, I think it was Christmas Eve. Chris and I had like one more present that we had to get, and we were like trying to pack our shit so we could go spend the night with his parents, and like it's just fucking stressful. The holidays are so stressful when you're an adult. Like when you're a kid, it's just like yay presents, and you don't have anything to worry about. But when you're an adult, you're like, God damn it, I hate this holiday so much. So
my nieces, when I walked into my sister's house, my nieces, the first thing they said was, "Oh my God, Aunt Dirty Nerdy." That's what they call me. Where's our presents? And I was like, I think there's some under the tree for you.
Yeah.
But actually what I said was, my presents. And the older one kind of got it. She was like, huh, that's cute.
Wordplay.
But then the younger one, who's like 8, was like, I don't get it.
So yeah, I had like a not a mental breakdown, but I did like break down in tears at one point during Christmas Eve because I was so fucking stressed out. But it was fine. I had a great Christmas. It was just preparing for Christmas. It was fucking stressful.
We just were like, we don't have any money, guys, so we just didn't get any gifts because we didn't have any money.
Yeah, we only spent $20 on each person, and we only spent it on 5 people. So.
Yeah. Wait, that coloring book you got me was $20?
No, yours we actually got in like October.
Oh, okay.
And we were just
and you waited this long to give it to me.
Yes.
Man. I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't really care much about Christmas, so if you give me a gift, you can give it to me anytime.
Yeah. I'm a pretty good gift giver, though, so I just like to wait.
It's pretty awesome. I think I left it here. Actually.
You did. I found markers, actually, so.
I get to color later.
Yeah. All right, let's do this recipe.
Okay, it's your recipe, so I'll let you go.
Oh, yeah, so this one my mom actually taught me, but it's a super cheap recipe, and you can feed like 4 people with it, so it's pretty awesome. All you need is a cup of uncooked white rice. It can't be minute rice. It's got to be the kind that has to like cook for an hour. So a cup of uncooked white rice and a 10-ounce can of cream of chicken soup. The good thing about this recipe is you could actually just swap that out for cream of anything soup. So if you're a vegetarian, you could do cream of mushroom soup or something else, or cream of broccoli.
No, some other weird thing vegetarians eat. I don't know.
I don't try to make fun of vegetarians. I try to be good.
I have vegetarian friends. I'm going to use
do.
that as my excuse, even though it's a bad excuse.
Great. And really, all you need, those are the essential ingredients. Everything else is technically optional, but it'll make it taste better. So you need a cup of rice and a can of creamed soup. And then the other things that you could add are salt and pepper, other spices like paprika, lime juice, cayenne pepper, whatever you like. And then if you're able to afford it, 1 or 2 chicken breasts that you cut up, or just big spender, or canned chicken. A can of chicken will work also.
Damn.
Yeah.
Going for that
big money.
Expensive stuff
there. But again, all that other stuff.
May as well order the lobster.
Right? All that other stuff is optional. So, what you want to do is preheat your oven to 350. You're going to put the cup of white rice at the bottom of your 13 by 9-inch baking dish. And then once you have the rice on there, empty out your soup can, and then fill that soup can with water 2 times and empty that out into the baking dish as well. So then you'll stir the rice and the soup and the water until it's all mixed together really well. Usually a fork is what I use because I can like mash the soup and make it mix it in with the water. And then if you're a big spender, you can add whatever version of chicken you're adding.
Or lobster.
Or whatever other fancy ingredients you have, and spices and whatever else.
Filet mignon.
Cover your baking dish with foil, and then put that in the oven for an hour. And then once it's done, you pull it out, and you've got like a fluffy, creamy casserole kind of dish. It's awesome.
This sounds delicious.
It's super filling and super cheap. You can feed 4 people for less than $5 with this one. Like a can of soup is like $1, I think, especially if you do store brand.
Rice is really cheap.
And then like a big bag of rice is $1 too. So
I love buying big bags of rice. They last me like a year.
Yeah, no, they do. I still have half of a big bag of rice downstairs.
Damn.
So super cheap. And the good thing about this one is it's really versatile. You can change it up by adding veggies or changing out the meat or changing the soup or, whatever you want. Just make sure you use a cream soup, a cream of something. That way it has the right consistency for your casserole. So
Yay.
You don't want to do like chicken noodle soup. I don't think that'll work very well. Maybe it will. You can let us know. But I wouldn't recommend it.
Chicken, you'd have noodles and rice.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I have in a pinch. I had a recipe that needed like chicken broth. And I thought I had some at home, so I didn't buy any. And I get home, I start making it. I'm halfway through making it, and I have to add the chicken broth. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't have any. So I checked the cabinet, and I had this. I had like 2 cans of chicken noodle soup.
Did you just strain it? And
I strained out the soup.
Yeah, that's all that chicken broth is, really.
Well, usually in a pinch, I'll have like chicken bouillon cubes or something, so I can make some like kind of shitty broth that way. I was like, I don't understand how this website works. Can you like buy things from it? And she goes, no, it's just pictures. And I'm like, what's the point? I don't understand.
Oh no, apparently our internet dropped a second ago.
Oh no.
That sucks.
How much did everybody miss?
We only lost like 7 seconds, so we're good.
so everyone can hear what we're saying now?
Yeah, I might have just missed part of the recipe. But oh well, it's simple enough.
I think it's posted on the WordPress.
It is. Oh, I forgot to bring that up in our introduction.
Oh my god!
We have a WordPress now where you can actually follow along with our show notes during the show. It's shethinkers.wordpress.com, and we publish the show notes like 30 minutes before the show starts, so you can follow along with us and see what all we're looking at. It's awesome.
I don't know if everyone can hear me chewing, but I'm eating popcorn.
Crunch, crunch.
It's my dinner.
No, I made you tacos.
I did have 2 tacos when I got here, but I haven't eaten much today, and I had to work, so I'm eating popcorn too. It's delicious.
Oh well. At least we only lost the internet for like a second.
Yeah.
It wasn't like forever like it used to be with Time Warner.
God.
Yeah.
We'd be talking for like 20 minutes and then realize that our internet was out.
And then we'd go, God damn it, this is why we can't have nice things.
I mean, at least when the internet's on, we can pretend like we're talking to other people.
Right?
Okay, so what's our next segment?
Our next one is You're Doing It Wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
And specifically what people are doing wrong is comparing religion to mental illness.
Not just comparing, literally saying that being religious is a mental illness.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I mean, I can chalk this one up with other pet peeves I have with mental illness biases out there, but I'll say those for other shows because honestly, but the whole religion is a mental illness thing just pisses me off because number one, it shows that you don't understand what a mental illness is. And whenever you point this out to people that blindly declare this without really doing any research, rather than saying, oh, you're right, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, never mind, they just try to, the first rule of being in a hole is to stop digging if you're trying to get out, but they just keep going.
No, they just keep going and saying, well, it's delusional thinking. If you didn't chalk it up to religion, any psychiatrist would say you were mentally ill, and I'm like, no, they wouldn't, actually.
Yeah.
Any good psychiatrist would not say you were mentally ill just because you believe this one thing.
Yeah, I mean, and when they try to compare it to schizophrenia is what I always hear them compare it to, and whenever they do, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know anything about schizophrenia. Just stop it now. Quit. So, for those who are curious, there are 2 big things that need to happen for something to be qualified as a mental disorder. And number 1 is it needs to cause you significant distress in your personal life. So that means it has to be affecting you either mentally, obviously, or in your work or personal life or things like that. It has to be significantly causing distress in your day-to-day life. Basically, it's such a big deal that it's making it hard for you to function like most people. That's really the biggest thing that qualifies a mental illness. And since religion doesn't really have that effect on religious people,
not typically.
Yeah, not typically. It's not a mental illness.
I want to say, Miri Mogilevsky over at Reason actually wrote a whole post kind of dedicated to this called What This Depression Survivor Hears When You Call Religion a Mental Illness. And she has an entire section describing how mental illness, like a major component of it, is that it is maladaptive. And basically comparing it to the fact that religion actually isn't maladaptive unless you take it to extremes, and then it can be.
Yeah.
But religion is typically adaptive. It's something that actually can help people, and I know atheists, especially in the atheist movement, don't want to admit this, but yes, religion can be helpful to people.
It can be.
I don't think it's necessarily the best way to get help, but if it's the only hope you have, then whatever. But that doesn't mean that it's a mental illness. In fact, that's kind of goes against the fact that goes against any indication that it could be a mental illness, because it is helping you. It can help people cope with things, and that's mental illness doesn't help you cope with things.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot harder to cope. And so I just wanted to point that out, that she has a really good post that has a whole section dedicated to that. And then I think it's Jerry Coyne at Why Evolution is True also has a post called Is Religion a Mental Illness?
And then says no, basically.
Yeah. Too long, didn't read. TLDR, no. Yeah. And it just brings to mind, it just makes me think, like, what exactly are they saying is a mental illness? Like, the fact that they believe in God, the fact that they pray, because I prayed till I was like 14 or 15, and I wouldn't say that me praying was any manifestation of a mental illness. I mean, I have major depressive disorder, and I probably had it into my childhood, but everybody else around me was praying too, and that doesn't mean that they also had depression or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just what I was brought up to believe. You can't say that something you were brought up to believe is a mental illness. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. The qualifier, I guess, would be that religion is not a mental disease, but religion can mask signs of mental disorders.
And I will completely back that up. You say that, I will back you up and say yes.
Because if you're dealing with a mental disorder and the only network of support that you have is your church, and so you go to your church and you say, hey, I'm having these feelings, your pastor or preacher or whatever is not a therapist, and so they're not qualified to help you with those. They're qualified to help you with religious matters. So generally, when the only tool that you have is a hammer, you're just going to try to hammer things in. And so with a pastor or preacher, when you come to them with problems, their go-to is going to be prayer.
Yeah.
It's not because they're willingly giving you bad advice. It's because that's the only advice that they are qualified to give.
That's true.
So,
when I was in high school, my mom knew I was depressed. Like, she never said the words, but the way she talked to me, like, she would find me sitting in my room just crying for absolutely no reason. And she eventually sent me to talk to a pastor. Like, and
pastors are free to talk to.
They're free, exactly. Yeah. I've been bitter about it in the past, about the fact that I didn't get, quote-unquote, real help. But she gave me the help that she could, because she didn't have very much money, and I don't know that therapy would have been covered by my health insurance.
It usually isn't, unfortunately.
I know. So she had me talk to the one person she thought would be most qualified to talk to for free, which is a pastor. And I did, and it didn't really help, mostly because they were like, oh, you need to pray more, and that just made me feel like everything was my fault. But I also know that there have been people who have been helped by it, so,
yeah.
It would be different if mental illness was taken seriously more in the culture we live in, but at the time, right now, it's not. And that's, obviously, by the fact that your health insurance isn't required to cover it shows that mental illness isn't really taken seriously. I mean, not in the same way that other illnesses are.
No.
If mental...
It's all illness in your body.
Exactly.
Your mind is not separate from your body. It's a product of your body, so...
If we lived in a culture where it was easier and there was less stigma attached to it, if it was easier to get help with your mental illness, then I might be able to feel angry. Right now, the most I can say is bitter.
Yeah.
But, then I might be able to be sort of angry with my mom for not giving me real help, but she got me the help she could. And that's kind of how I feel with a lot of people who turn to religion to help with mental illness. There's not really much else you can do, especially if you don't have very much money and your health insurance doesn't cover it.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel when I look back on being trans and the things that I had to deal with from other people is, when I look back on it now, I'm like, well, they didn't know because I didn't tell them, because I didn't even know. Exactly. So I can't really be all that pissed off at them, even though it feels good to be angry, but it's really not productive for helping me. So
yeah, for a long time, I was angry with my mom for not giving me real help. But then I grew up a little bit, I guess. Took maybe a year or so. And I was like, you know what? She did the best she could. I don't know all the details. Maybe maybe she didn't know that I was severely depressed, and she thought it was just some sort of phase, and maybe if I just talked to someone, it would get better. Maybe she didn't know that the pastor would just sit there and tell me to pray, and they thought they'd actually be able to counsel me, which they weren't, because they weren't trained in that. So, you know, it's not all bad. I just want to say there's another element to this religion. There's a couple more elements. The religion is a mental illness. It also, I feel like it downplays what mental illness actually is. It downplays the seriousness of it.
Yeah, whenever I hear people, and like I said, it always gets worse when people are trying to defend.
Oh God,
this.
it just gets worse.
And it ends up like devolving into like ableism and all kinds of other nasty shit on top of everything else.
No, that's what it is. That's basically what it is. It's just a form of ableism. And first of all, I used to be religious, and now I'm not. If religion were a mental illness, does that mean I was cured?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not what that means. Does that mean that I still have the same mental illness, just now it's focused on other things? And if so, what is it? And I don't know. And neither do they. And they can't really answer that. And it's not just that. It's like, it's basically telling me that if you believe something that is wrong, that's a mental illness. That's pretty much what they're saying. You believe this thing that is wrong, and therefore it's a mental illness.
And everyone has false beliefs about something.
Exactly.
Everyone is wrong about not even just one thing, many things.
Like earlier, Dory characterized her joke as a physics joke.
And it was a physics joke? It was an engineering joke.
You were mentally ill.
Yeah, according to this train of thought.
I guess so. I don't know. And then there's the idea that they're not really making a sincere criticism of religion, because there are plenty of criticisms of religion you can make and be sincere. They're really just trying to connect it with something that is stigmatized as bad in our society. And I'm not saying mental illness isn't bad. It's like, it's not easy. It's not a good thing to be coping with. But it's also, it has the stigma to the point where people can't even get treatment for it.
Yeah.
At least they can't even get support when they do get treatment for it either.
And it's hard to set up any kind of mental health treatment area or anything else. We call it NIMBY. And
NIMBY? I've never heard this.
It's not in my backyard.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So whenever you're like, oh, we need to set up a mental health facility or something like that, people are like, oh, well, I'm all for people getting treatment, but then there will be crazy people in our neighborhood. And
I just like, I have to wonder what they think of crazy people. It reminds me of, I just recently marathoned American Horror Story, the second season.
Oh, man.
That one was creepy as fuck.
That one was terrifying.
But, and I just have to wonder, like, if people take shows like that seriously, if that's really what they think of when they think of mentally ill people.
And I think that's what they think of when they think of mental health facilities, too.
I guess so.
They think of...
A mental health facility can just be a place where there are therapists that people can go see. And, you know, anyone can see a therapist. You don't have to actually have a full-blown mental illness to see a therapist.
No, I think most people would probably benefit from seeing a therapist once in a while.
That's probably true. But then again,
we all need somebody to talk to who's not involved in our lives every now and then, just to like blow off steam and get shit off your chest in a non-judgmental place.
It's not just that. It's also that when I'm not seeing a therapist, which hasn't been for a long time because I haven't had the money, I typically use my friends and the boy, and I always, later on, after unloading all this shit on them, I always feel bad because it's like they're not prepared for that. You know, it's not their job to be my therapist. But when you don't have anyone else to talk to. So really it's like, when you say religion is a mental illness, number one, you're wrong. It's not a mental illness.
Because it's not distressing to them, and it's not maladaptive. Therefore, it's not a mental illness.
Yeah.
Those are the two big qualifiers for a mental illness. It has to be maladaptive, and it has to cause distress. And it doesn't do either of those things for religious people.
And I would say, my religion, up until the last maybe year and a half or so of when I was like deconverting, it didn't really cause me much distress. other things in my life were causing me distress. The religion was kind of on the back burner, you know?
Yeah. I would say my religion combined with my queerness caused distress, but when the queerness was out of the factor, it didn't.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense to me. So, number one, you're wrong. It's not a mental illness.
You're doing it wrong.
Number two, it's downplaying actual mental illness and making mental illness not seem as bad, because most people in the world are religious. So that saying that religion is a mental illness is saying that
most people
in the world are mentally ill, and that's just not true. And number three, it is further stigmatizing mental illness. It is piggybacking on the stigma that mental illness already has in order to make religion seem worse. And you really don't need to do that. There's plenty of good criticisms of religion. You don't need to tie it somehow to this other thing that people have as a big boogeyman in their head, you know? So it's like, it's kind of like when people use gay as an insult. Like, oh, that's so
It kind
gay.
of is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, well, you believe that? Oh, you must be crazy. You're just mentally ill. It's like, what? No.
Do you even science, bro?
That's an insult. That is an insult to mentally ill people. So, no, you're just wrong. You're doing it wrong. That's all I can say.
Right.
All right.
All right. We have a short commercial coming up, and then we'll be back for Queer Theory and Disney. Yay!
Woo!
I'm so excited.
Since tonight's topic is all about queer representation in the media, we have to give a shout out to GLAAD, arguably the biggest LGBTQ-specific media monitoring organization in the U.S. Since 1985, GLAAD has fought against homophobic, biphobic, and transphobic media representation by speaking out and educating against harmful stereotypes and language. Some of their most successful programs include the GLAAD Media Reference Guide, which helps writers and reporters use respectful language, the GLAAD Media Awards, which honor positive representations of LGBTQ people, and the Network and Studio Responsibility Indexes, which help consumers make informed choices about what media companies' histories of LGBTQ representation have been. To learn more about GLAAD and all the awesome things they've done, go to GLAAD.org. Once again, that's GLAAD, GLAAD.org.
We're back.
Hi.
Oh my god, it's time for our main topic. Yay!
Yay, you've been, excited about this all week.
I love queer theory so much, especially applying queer theory to children's media. It's, one of my favorite things to do, because it pisses off conservatives so much.
We do it on my Facebook all the time.
We do. Like when we apply it to Harry Potter and other things.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. So, we should probably explain for people who don't know what queer theory is before we start applying it to Disney.
All right. You do that, because you're more coherent.
So, the short and simple version of it is And you'll hear about other kinds of theory too, like feminist theory and things like that. And really all that means is there are different ways of examining literature and media. So queer theory is basically looking at literature and then other media forms through the lens of queer studies. That's where it came from. It's kind of a fusion of literature and queer studies together. So
that sounds awesome.
It is. So basically it involves like queering storylines and characters and highlighting queer themes. So that's pretty fun. Not only that, but before we get into it, because usually when we get into things like this, there's always going to be people that say, oh, you're over-examining things, or you're seeing things that aren't really there.
It's no fun to watch movies without over-examining them.
Yeah, well, and especially movies that you've seen a lot. And let's face it, most Disney movies you've seen ad nauseum at some point in your life, because that's what kids do. They watch
Little Mermaid.
Yeah, they watch the same movies over and over again, and especially Little Mermaid. That's my favorite.
Mine was The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that was mine too. Well, we were the same age, so
yeah,
it makes sense.
Well,
those are the two that came out at our age.
My sister loved Beauty and the Beast, and I loved Little Mermaid, so we watched it like over and over again.
My sister and I liked both of them. I think we liked Beauty and the Beast more than we do now as adults, because like as adults you're like, oh, this is not healthy when you're looking at Beauty and the Beast. I can still like The Little Mermaid. I can't really still like Beauty and the Beast, except the songs and other things, but like the main plot point of Beauty and the Beast is uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
So it's harder to enjoy. Little Mermaid, I'm just like, I love Little Mermaid. This like puts me in my happy place.
I like
only
all the little like house appliances part of the Beauty and the Beast.
I like
I still like.
I like the B story of Beauty and the Beast, like all the other people going on in the background. Yeah. I just don't like the A story of Beauty and the Beast.
But that's part of feminist theory, and we're talking about queer theory this week.
Yeah, we'll save that for. I'm sure we'll do feminism in Disney someday, but this is queer theory in Disney.
Way more fun.
Which is more fun. I feel like the feminism in Disney thing has kind of been, it's been done a lot, so most people have probably listened to a lot of that, but queer theory in Disney I don't think has really had its due. If you're interested in seeing, because there's a whole history of like hidden queerness in movies, pretty much from the first movies. Like there's a awesome documentary and book called The Celluloid Closet, which everyone should see because it's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, and you said we should watch it, so maybe after the show tonight.
Maybe. But what I learned when I was watching this, we watch every year at my youth center. We have what's called movie camp, where during the summer we watch campy movies, and we code them as queer while we're watching them. It's super fun.
There's no other way to watch movies.
Yeah. But we always start at the celluloid closet so we can kind of get into the mentality of queer theory. Like if you're interested in queer theory, go watch the celluloid closet. It's a pretty good primer for figuring out how it works. So yeah.
Pretty much, if it seems queer, it probably is.
It probably is.
That's how I see it anyway.
Especially older movies or movies where they can't. Like children's movies and older movies, they theoretically could have openly gay characters, but they probably won't. So they usually have coded as gay characters.
What's really cool is when you watch like an older movie and you kind of get the sense that the protagonist is queer, and then you find out later that the actor who played them actually was queer.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They're like, my gaydar is working.
Yay, because mine never does.
Yeah, you're always
out of order.
You're always falling for those straight Christian girls.
I know. Hey, this last time it was a straight girl who wasn't a Christian.
Well,
so.
At least there's that.
Yeah. Maybe I have more hope there.
Maybe.
Probably not, though.
Probably not. Okay. So let's get into it. We talked about what queer theory is. You can figure it out. It's basically just queering things, which is fun. You should do it way more often. It makes movies super enjoyable.
And you know, I mean, Dory's studied she's still seen the celluloid closet and studied the actual queer theory more often than I have. I just kind of watch movies and I'm like, yeah, I could pair these two together.
One thing that I recently heard of that I really want to do is one of my kids told me that they queer Star Trek the original series by putting Spock and Kirk in a secret relationship.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm going to have to watch it with that in mind, and I think that might make it more enjoyable.
I think mine is more of, I read a lot of fanfic, like on Tumblr and stuff, and
there's lots of queering and fanfic.
Yeah, they do a lot of shipping, so mine is more that area.
Yeah.
I just ship characters. I'm like, yeah, they'd be hot together.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into it. We should probably talk about what's known as the sissy trope, which is basically it's FOP or FOP. I think we watched Nostalgia Chick's video that was basically on queer theory and Disney, and they referred to it as the FOP trope, but I've always heard it referred to as the sissy. So whichever one works for you.
I think they're both listed on TV tropes.
Yeah.
So if you want to lose like 16 hours,
go to TV tropes.
Go look up FOP or sissy villain on TV tropes, and you'll learn more. You'll learn something.
Yeah, that's true. We even have a link for you on our WordPress built into it.
Oh God, did we include a warning? TV tropes will ruin your life, man.
Isn't that a TV trope?
It is!
So, one of the quickest and laziest ways that movies have cued audiences that a character is a villain is to make them effeminate, cowardly, and vain. In other words, having them fulfill negative queer stereotypes, which is not only shitty to gay men, but it's shitty to women too, because it's basically saying, oh, this man acts like a woman, therefore he's a villain.
So. The one I always thought of in when I was a kid was Captain Hook.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name from Great Mouse Detective?
Ratigan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once I learned what gay was, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, Ratigan and Fidget is his little sidekick, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's funny how often these coded as gay villains have their little wimpy sidekick that comes with them too. Like you've got Hook and Smee, you've got Ratigan and Fidget, Jafar and Iago, like
Jafar and
the
little toucan. Would that be the one?
Well, Zazu's not really his sidekick.
Not really.
Zazu is I guess a good character who's coded as gay, but. There's even
I always saw Zazu as gay.
There's even a line in the Lion King. Like, the Lion King is the queerest of all Disney movies. I just want to throw that out right off the bat.
When I was a kid, I loved the Lion King.
The Lion Queen.
That fits so well.
It does.
No, I love the Lion King. But I only liked the parts where Simba was a baby, so I would stop it once they meet Timon and Pumbaa. After that song, I would stop the movie and just replay it from the beginning.
This was the more fun part.
I was like, there's no more cute baby lions.
Right?
I was a weird kid. I don't know.
So Caitlin couldn't be on the show with us, but Caitlin helped me put together a lot of the notes for this one. So she's here in spirit.
Because I'm never prepared.
No. But Caitlin and I have a lot of fun queering The Lion King. I still think it's the queerest Disney movie ever. So Simba comes from a polyamorous family, because it's his dad and like a whole bunch of moms, because that's how lions live together.
They're a matriarchy.
Yeah. And it's a matriarchal polyamorous family.
And that goes with feminist theory.
Yep. Simba, after he thinks he's killed his dad, because yeah, it's Animal Hamlet too, but whatever. We're talking about queer shit right now.
Lions and Hamlets.
There's a bunch of lines that refer to Scar being gay. Like there's one, he's the black sheep of the family, and they make references to that all the time throughout the beginning of the movie. Like Zazu has a line where he says, "Oh, don't worry, sire. There's one in every family. 2 in mine." And I'm like, yeah, you're one of them.
I was about to say that.
And then there's my favorite line of Scar's ever is when Simba is hanging out with him and he says, "Uncle Scar, you're weird," and he says, "You have no idea." In his little Vincent Price voice.
I was gonna say, do you notice how Scar kind of has almost an English accent in the movie?
He does, and he swishes his hips too.
Yeah. None of the other lions have that.
No.
Maybe Simba's mother. What's his mother's name?
Not Nala.
No, Nala is his interest.
Love interest, and also sister. I'm just pointing that out. They come from the same pride.
They're animals, and it's polyamory, so whatever. But his mother, I think, kind of also has, and I don't want to say necessarily English accent, but it's more of an aristocratic kind of thing like that.
Because she's the queen, so she's got an aristocratic voice.
Which I always, thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does Scar sound different?
But then, so you've got all of that at the beginning of the movie, which is awesome and queer, and then you've got Timon and Pumbaa, who are obviously a gay couple. Like, even in the song Hakuna Matata, they talk about how they were ostracized from society for being different, so they just went off to live in the oasis, and were like, fuck you guys, we're gonna go start our own place with blackjack and hookers.
You know what? Forget the blackjack. We'll have gay hookers.
And they have that one line in the song where Pumbaa's about to say something, and Timon is like, no, not in front of the kids, and he stops him.
That's so true.
Lion King's my favorite one to queer. It's so much fun. So, Simba's got 2 gay daddies that adopt him later on in life, and they get super stressed out when he turns out to be straight, when Nala shows up, and then they have a whole song about, oh no, he's straight, now he's gonna leave us, so he won't live in the neighborhood anymore, what are we gonna do?
Maybe he's just bi.
Maybe.
They never consider that.
Nope. They never do that in movies, though.
No.
You're either gay or straight.
I know.
Bi people don't exist in media, unfortunately.
Makes me sad.
It does me too.
It confused me for a long time.
I know, right?
Maybe if there were bi people in media, I wouldn't have been confused about what was wrong with me for so long. And by wrong, I don't mean like wrong.
The chat room says her name is Sarabi.
Sarabi.
Mother.
The mother's name is Sarabi. Thank you, chat room. For doing our research for us. Alright, and then Aladdin. Alright, Aladdin. Come on. The genie?
Yeah. The genie cross-dresses almost as often as Bugs Bunny does. Like, seriously. And he's constantly making gay jokes. But not like at the expense of gay people, just jokes that a gay man would make, basically.
I like that distinction.
Yeah.
And it makes it even funnier the fact that Robin Williams plays the genie in the movie. I mean, Robin Williams is kind of a flamboyant comedian to begin with. He's not gay that I know of, but
he's flamboyant though.
Very much so.
And he's a friend of the gays, so.
Is he now?
I think so. I don't think he's ever said anything bad about gay people, so.
That makes him a friend.
That makes him a friend.
You haven't said anything bad about me.
For as long a career as he's had, that's kind of an accomplishment that he's never been shitty to gay people.
That's kind of sad. But, I mean, to go in with our villains coded as queer thing, we have to talk about Jafar.
Yes, with that eyeliner.
Oh my goodness, the eyeliner. I don't even wear eyeliner, and I'm a girl.
Yeah. Jafar's pretty fabulous. So is Aladdin with his little shirtless vest.
I know, who wears that? When I was a little girl, I always had a crush on Aladdin and the princess. What's the princess's name?
Jasmine.
Jasmine, thank you.
And
Why did I forget that?
And they're the whitest Arab people ever. But that's another rant for another day.
I know. Jasmine's pretty tan.
Yeah. Sometimes.
She's so cute, though.
Yeah, she is cute.
When I was a kid, I always had such a crush on Aladdin and Jasmine.
It's funny, every gay boy I've talked to who's our age has had a crush on Aladdin when they were growing up. Because it's a half-naked, good-looking boy
I know.
in a Disney movie. Howard, that's like your awakened sexuality right there.
And then Jasmine's got that off-the-shoulder dress thing that she wears.
And like the belly shirt too. And,
I know. Oh
yeah.
my god, I love Jasmine. We need to watch Aladdin after this.
Right? So we're watching Celluloid Closet and Aladdin.
Maybe. I'll probably fall asleep.
Probably.
But Jafar, come on. He's got that little parrot sidekick. I mean, if we're going to talk about sidekicks,
Yep.
he's got Iago with him. And he makes a big deal about wanting to marry the princess.
Overcompensating much?
Very I mean, I guess you could say Aladdin was overcompensating with the goddamn parade, but he had to pretend to be a prince.
Yeah.
He really did like Jasmine. He just had to pretend to be a prince to get her. But Jafar was like, no, I love the ladies. I'm going to marry this lady over here. Check me out, marrying a lady.
Because I love the ladies so much. So we talked about there's male villains who are coded as gay, and a lot of them have the wimpy sidekick who's also coded as gay. We have to talk about drag queen villains, though.
Oh, man.
Because those are, like, everyone's favorite Disney villains. So, we already talked about, like, what goes into the sissy trope. I don't know if there's a trope for this. There probably is. But one of the ways that female characters get labeled as villains is they're either ugly or they're obsessed with beauty. They're aggressive, they're vain, they're unafraid of sexuality, or they're determined to gain power, or all of them. And all of these are seen as negative qualities for women to have.
Hey, that's some feminist theory there.
Basically. So these are seen as negative qualities for women to have. However, drag queens often exemplify these qualities.
And they're looked up to.
Yep.
Who doesn't love a drag queen?
Exactly. And that's why so many, I put in here, that's why so many queer people love Disney villainesses, but really everyone loves the Disney villainesses. Like,
yeah. Who doesn't love Ursula?
Ursula, Maleficent, Cruella de Vil, like, come on. They're all awesome, and you know it. They're the reason why you watch half of the Disney movies, because, especially Maleficent, like, she's the only interesting part about Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, it's basically kind of boring.
Yeah, it's basically a big date rape movie, except for Maleficent, who's awesome. But
who is completely against the whole date rape part.
Yep.
So, go you, Maleficent.
Basically, it's, it's unconventionally attractive feminist women who are larger than life and kind of coded as drag queens,
and then, like,
are villains in Disney movies.
Cruella de Vil in 101 Dalmatians.
Cruella de Vil is such a drag queen name.
I remember the first day I realized that it means cruel devil.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I can't...
Mind blown.
This is so deep.
When you were 6 or whatever age.
I don't know, 9 probably.
God, when did 101 Dalmatians come out? That was like 70s or 80s, I think.
I don't know, I watched it growing up.
Yeah, I did too. I think it's an older one now.
I still use the my ears are cold line because the boy keeps the apartment like really cold. He gets hot easily, so like he keeps it cold. So when I want the heater to be turned on, I'm like, my ears are cold, and my nose is cold, and my tail is cold. I love 101 Dalmatians. That's another one where I watched the movie until the puppies weren't cute anymore.
And you're like, nope. Done with this.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I'd watch it until close to the end, and then I'd just like rewind it and watch it with the cute puppies again.
But my favorite Disney villain of all time is Ursula. I love Ursula so much.
She's pretty cool.
And she's modeled after Divine, the drag queen that's in pretty much every John Waters movie until she died. And Disney straight up admits it. It's not like, this is not queer theory. Ursula is modeled after the drag queen Divine. You can go to Disney's wiki page, and they tell you right there that that's who she's modeled after.
And like, even if they didn't admit it, just look at pictures of them.
Yeah.
Right next to each other, like, it's obvious.
It's dead obvious. Like, there's no arguing with that one. And that's, of the, like, classic princess movies or whatever, that's one of the most recent ones. I guess there's that, and then there's the Frog Princess and Tangled are the newer
those.
two. I haven't seen those either.
I haven't seen either of them.
It's hard for me to give Disney money.
I'll just sell the 7 seas of the internet.
Basically.
I heard Tangled was pretty good.
I've heard Tangled's good.
Actually, I saw like half of Tangled when I went to the doctor's office.
Oh, okay.
And it was all right. They were like, "You want the volume up?" I was like, "Sure. What else am I gonna do while I sit here writhing in pain? Turn up the volume. I'll watch Tangled."
Right. So these are, I mean, on the one hand, queer people like turn these into fun things.
Yeah.
The whole like queer villains, but it's kind of damaging on the other hand too, because
they're villains.
It's perpetuating negative queer stereotypes, and it's making them villains, so it's not doing us a lot of favors.
Yeah.
So it's fun in like a campy way that we can enjoy, but it's also doing harm, so Disney should probably like check that shit out and deal with it.
So
I don't think they've done it as much in recent ones. Like, I think the villain in the Frog Princess is like, I don't know, like a voodoo person or something, which has problems in and of itself. But at least it's not coded as queer, I guess. I don't think they've really done that much since the millennium started.
Alright, let's talk about trans themes.
Yeah, we're gonna...
Little Mermaid.
I'm gonna say we're talking about good... this is good queer stuff now. We got the somewhat bad queer stuff out of the way. The Little Mermaid is the little trans girl.
Yeah, I've read that a lot of trans people, when they're children, are like obsessed with mermaids. Like,
especially trans girls are obsessed with mermaids growing up.
And I guess I kind of get it, but not quite.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, mermaids are... Their gender is only from the waist up.
That makes sense.
They're all the same from the waist down, so they don't have to deal with genitals, basically. So you could see that aspect on why
I never
trans
thought of
kids,
it like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Why couldn't they be the other kind of mermaid? The fish part
on the top and the lady part on the bottom.
Oh, Futurama. Alright.
But I just Chris and I just bought The Little Mermaid recently because
we need to watch it.
We totally can.
I love Under the Sea.
Hell yes.
I learned to play that on the xylophone.
Part of Your World is my favorite Disney song ever.
I played it on the xylophone. I'm not even kidding you. That's like one of the first. My sister made me learn that song.
Yeah.
She's like, you have to learn this song.
So I mean, we've got 2 other trans movies, but Little Mermaid's the only trans girl movie in Disney that I can think of. I mean, you can look at it from the feminist perspective of, oh, she's giving up her voice to be with a man, and that's bad. But if you look at it from the trans perspective, it's a little bit more enjoyable, because I think like sacrificing your family and your ability to speak and everything else that Ariel's willing to give up in order to be human kind of goes above and beyond, like, oh, I have a crush on this dude that I met yesterday. She's clearly been obsessed with being human long before she met Eric.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is something, like, she has that, not only, she's like a hoarder,
yes.
She has that she clearly has been collecting all those human things for a very long time.
Which has parallels to being trans, because when you're trans, you have, like, your little stash of appropriate gender clothes that you hide from your family. And for some trans people, they get found and destroyed, which is what happens in The Little Mermaid. Her dad finds her human stash and destroys it.
And not only that, but like her friends had to create a song called Under the Sea in order to try to convince her that she doesn't really want to be human. And I can see that, the more, I really should have thought about this more before, but the more I think about it, that does kind of make sense with why trans people would be drawn to this.
We like mermaids.
Yeah.
My sister and I want to get matching sister tattoos, and I think we finally agreed on getting a silhouette of Ariel for matching tattoos.
Oh, that would be cute.
Yeah. But now I feel bad about getting her as a mermaid because I'm like, no, that's pre-transition Ariel. I want to get post-transition Ariel.
How will people know what she is then?
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't be able to do a silhouette if it was.
You'd have to have the full thing.
Basically.
But we also have Pinocchio and Mulan have some trans themes.
Which are trans men.
Because Pinocchio's like, I want to be a real boy.
Yes.
And problematic phrasing as it is, real boy.
Yeah. But it makes sense because Pinocchio is young. And when you're young and you're trans, that's the only language you have.
That's true.
So that it makes sense. That's the kind of language you would use. When you're 5 or 6 or whatever age, I guess Pinocchio was supposed to be, you're not going to be like, I want to be a cis boy.
My kids will know the language.
Right.
I'll teach them.
But it's interesting, depending on when you talk with trans men, depending on their age, they either loved Mulan growing up or they loved Pinocchio growing up. And just like a lot of trans girls loved Little Mermaid growing up if they're the right age.
I did love Mulan, but that was more from a feminist perspective than a queer one.
Yeah.
Because I love the fact that she was like, girls aren't allowed. Fuck that! I'm gonna be in the military.
That's the fun thing about Mulan is a lot of queer people like Mulan because Mulan's pretty openly queer in a lot of ways.
It's based on a true story.
It is.
So that's cool too.
Like if you just chop off the last 10 or 15 minutes of Mulan when they're like try to unqueer it very quickly at the end when they're like, oh no, she's going back to being a woman and she's marrying a man. See, everyone's straight. It's fine.
Quickly, have her kiss a dude.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. I've never been so glad to be beat up by a woman. Futurama did a Mulan episode. They straight up did.
They did. I love Futurama. They did a Mulan episode. They respect pronouns.
Yep. They're awesome. But yeah, Mulan, you can either, I guess it's kind of a reflection of the person watching it. You can either see Mulan as a trans man, which is probably closer to accurate, or you could see Mulan as a lesbian or a feminist, or like you can see a lot of different things in Mulan. Well, so it's kind of cool in that way.
That movie came out when I was in like 5th grade, I think.
Yeah, I was a little too old for like watching Disney movies when Mulan came out.
Oh no, I still
liked it. Like I watched it because I had younger siblings that watched it, but I still enjoyed it.
I watched it because I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
You're like a year or two older than I am now.
I am.
But no, when Mulan came out, I liked it because of its like feminist stuff. I wouldn't have called myself a feminist, but I definitely was in that stage of I think I've talked about this on the show before, where there was a stage in my life when I was a child when I recognized that girl stuff wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't valued.
Yeah.
Boy stuff was. And so I rejected my feminine side, I guess. I hate that terminology, but I'm too drunk to think of a different way to put it.
It works.
Yeah. I rejected my feminineness.
Femininity.
Which
is a hard word to say when you're drunk.
It's very hard. And we both just said it. High five. Yeah. And so I was like kind of encouraging myself or like accepting my more masculine tendencies because I recognized that boy stuff was more valued and seen as cool than girl stuff was. And so Mulan came out and I was like, oh, she's a girl and she joins the military even though girls aren't supposed to. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I saw it as more of now I would call it feminist, but back then I didn't know anything about feminism other than it's evil because Jesus or something.
Because feminists practice witchcraft and kill their husbands or whatever it is.
I don't know. I didn't even know what gay was or anything or trans or anything. Now, if I were to watch it for the first time now, I would definitely the trans themes would jump out at me. I mean, they do now. But when I first watched it, it was the feminism that jumped out at me. And like I said, I wouldn't have called it that back then, but I definitely would now. So
when that's like when I was watching,
an important movie for me.
When I was watching Little Mermaid, when I was, I don't know, I think it was like 3 or 4 when that came out, and I think that's the first movie I ever saw in a theater that I remember was The Little Mermaid, because that movie came out in 89 or 90, I want to say. It was when The Little Mermaid
movie
came
I
out.
remember seeing in theater was The Indian in the Cupboard.
I love that book and the movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah. It's a great book series too.
It's a series? Oh
Yes.
my god, I need to read this.
You
now.
do. It's like at least 3 books, if not more. So you should totally read it.
I'll read it.
But yeah, I mean, like when I was watching Little Mermaid, it's not like I was consciously aware of the fact that I was like, oh, she's trans, just like me. That's why I love this movie. But I like really, really liked The Little Mermaid. My mom will tell you I was obsessed with that movie. And so was my sister, because she grew up with me, so she became obsessed with it too.
Kids understand these things, but they don't have the vocabulary for them.
Yeah, you don't have the language for it, so...
That's why with my kids, I plan on actually teaching them this language so they can tell me these things when they need to or when they feel comfortable doing so.
Right.
So...
Oh, I feel like I should throw out, since we were talking about Mulan, apparently Mulan is officially bisexual.
Woo!
In the... Is it Once Upon a Time, the Disney show or whatever?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Mulan, like, professed her love for Sleeping Beauty, but it was unrequited because Sleeping Beauty's straight. So she's throwing herself at straight girls.
She's just like me!
So I guess yay Disney for kind of, sort of, having a queer character.
Yay!
But not a queer relationship, because you can't have that. Although they've had that in a number of movies just under the table, which we should talk about next.
Alright, we'll talk about this.
So we already talked about Timon and Pumbaa, which are like the most obvious, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also, in the Jungle Book, there's Baloo and Bagheera.
Oh, I love them.
I know! I had not seen the Jungle Book, like, since I was 6 or something. And
oh my god, I love the Jungle Book.
And Chris and I rented it earlier this year and we watched it. Like, we got it on Netflix or whatever.
I love the songs. I just love the Jungle Book.
And when we were watching it, we were like, oh my god, Baloo and Baggy are a gay couple. Like, they even fight like an old married couple about how they're gonna raise Mowgli. Like, it's...
Yeah, there's a lot of same-sex couples raising other people like babies in Disney.
It's true. And other non-traditional families, but we'll get into that in a second, I guess. So you've got Baloo and Bagheera. There's Francis and Slim in A Bug's Life. And Francis is fun in and of himself because he's a ladybug, and he has like this whole rant about how everyone thinks he's a lady because he's a ladybug. And he's super pissed off about it. So he's like this butch gay man with Francis, which is great.
Oh my god, he's a bear.
He is. He's a bear. And then Lumiere and Cogsworth. I love Lumiere because he's bi. Because he hits on the duster too, the little French maid, and he hits on Cogsworth, and they argue like an old married couple. So maybe they're poly. Maybe Lumiere and Cogsworth, and I wish I knew what the duster's name was. Maybe they're all together. Maybe they're a big poly family.
Maybe.
That's how I'm gonna look at it. They're a triad.
So those are our queer couples.
And we have some queer singles.
I was gonna say that. You finish my sentences.
I do. So we talked about Genie. There's Kuzco in Emperor's New Groove, which is kind of fun because he starts out as a villain and then I guess he becomes a good guy by the end of the movie. But he's still gay. Like, it doesn't help that he's played by David Spade. But there's plenty
I think David Spade is straight though.
He is, but he makes jokes about being perceived as gay all the time, so. But I mean, at the beginning of Emperor's New Groove,
we're out of popcorn.
He shoots down every bride that he's got, and is like a sassy gay friend throughout the entire movie.
I think I've only seen Emperor's New Groove like once, so I don't really remember it.
It's one of my grandma's favorite movies to watch.
Really? Your grandma?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's super sarcastic, and we're big on sarcasm in my family. But some other ones are, there's Flower in Bambi. Come on. Flower.
Bambi. That was another movie that I stopped watching after the baby animal was...
I never really liked Bambi because it's not a happy movie.
It's really not, but I watched it when I was really little, and I guess my fascination with baby animals started with Bambi.
It makes sense. It's one of the first animal movies Disney did.
It was one of the first Disney, that and The Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
I would, oh my god, I'm just now realizing that I would do this with all animal movies.
You would stop watching when they grew up.
Once they grew up, I would stop it and rewind it to the beginning and watch it as them babies. How did I not realize this before? Is there something wrong with me?
Revelation. No, you just like baby animals.
Baby animals?
And you didn't have the internet to look at baby animals before.
That's true. That's true. These days I can look at baby animals all day.
And I
have a baby kitty at home. He's not a baby anymore, though.
Yeah, he's still a kitty. He's a troll kitty.
Bastard. He's probably at home right now destroying our blinds some more.
And then there's Turk from Tarzan, who
Turk.
I had forgotten about, but we were looking up different lists of like queer Disney characters. There's a lot of them out there, and Turk showed up on a few of them.
Turk.
I only watched Tarzan like once, I think. I really didn't enjoy it all that much, but
my cousins loved it, so I watched it a lot with them. And I remember the first couple times I watched it, I thought Turk was a boy.
Yeah, well, and it's cool because Turk, you could either argue Turk's a lesbian or is like genderqueer in some way, or
either way, it's awesome.
Yeah, Turk is voiced by Rosie O'Donnell. I remember that much. Yeah. And Turk's gender is pretty ambiguous through the movie. Like, Turk is a girl, but is not a girly person at all, and
girly gorilla?
Yeah. I don't know, there's a joke in the movie where Turk has to dress up like a human woman.
I remember
and
that.
is super uncomfortable about it.
Human. I think any gorilla would be uncomfortable dressing up as a human, though.
Yeah, to be fair. But, like, there's a lot of lesbian jokes in Tarzan about Turk. But not at the expense of lesbians, just...
She's a lesbian.
She's a lesbian.
Or genderqueer.
Or genderqueer. Something.
I do want to point out, we were talking about some of the newer Disney movies. What's it called? Brave?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people came out and were saying, oh, Marita's a lesbian because she didn't want to get married.
Fucking straight people.
And
this is what they do when they try to do queer theory and they do it wrong.
I didn't even know if it was straight people or not, but
it was the mainstream media that was claiming she was a lesbian, so I just assumed fucking straight people.
Marita, I'm not going to come out and say Marita's a lesbian because she's 14. Yeah. And not wanting to get married at 14 does not mean you're a lesbian. I'm sorry.
It just means you're 14 and don't want to marry losers.
I mean, she might be a lesbian. I don't know. They don't talk about it in the movie. They don't mention it at all. They don't really talk about her sexuality outside of not wanting to get married. I like what you put here. That's not gay. That's just good sense.
Yeah.
That's on the WordPress.
Right. Yeah, no, the Merida one, like, went around the internet for a while, and I just, like, rolled my eyes every time I saw it.
I remember seeing it, but I didn't really pay much attention to it.
I just wanted to be like, you're doing it wrong. This is not queer theory.
I was just like, whatever, mainstream. I don't care.
That's why I'm like,
I don't know if it was done by gay people or straight people.
I'm sure it was done by both, to be fair.
I don't know.
But
sounds like something straight people would do, though. Like, I'm being tolerant. Whatever.
So there's non-traditional families in Disney too, which is another queer theme. There's not only are there poly families like in Lion King and arguably Snow White.
Oh yeah.
They don't say the dwarves are brothers. They're just a big group of men that live together.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even if it's not poly, it's definitely non-traditional.
It's a non-traditional family either way. There's a lot of adoption in Disney, which is cool.
Yeah, that's a big thing in Disney, and I don't know if it's necessarily to have non-traditional families put at the forefront, or if it's just, you know, to get the emotional stuff going on with, you know.
Most fairy tales have dead parents. It's just part of the package.
Orphans are sad.
Yeah.
So, but you got, like Tarzan, Lilo and Stitch, Jungle Book, Lion King, Oh,
I forgot there's,
101 Dalmatians. They adopt all those puppies at the end.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I forgot there were 2 queer couples I forgot to mention.
Oh, really?
When you brought up Lilo and Stitch, there's Jumba and Pleakley. And Pleakley is a male alien, but dresses up like a woman during most of the movie, and gets really upset if people don't use female pronouns. So that's pretty trans.
Well, in Lilo and Stitch, I always saw their non-traditional family as the fact that her sister is raising her.
Yeah, that's another, there's a lot of non-traditional stuff in Lilo and Stitch.
It's not necessarily that she's adopted, it's that she's not being raised by her parents. She's being raised by her sister.
Yeah.
And, that movie always kind of makes me cry.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I kind of liked that one just because
it's cute.
It was cute and sad. And then there's the one official gay couple in this. A few seconds, it looks like.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So we're back on.
So I don't need to vamp anymore, whatever that means.
We're done vamping.
Vamping. Like we're vampires.
Ha
ha. What is that? What is the character's name on
The Count?
The Count. I always just called him like Count Dracula when I was a kid.
But he's the Count.
But I called him Count Dracula. And I was confused about what counts were until I was much older. I was like, the Count, right?
Yeah.
It's like number things.
So, I don't know where we dropped off, but just to reiterate, the only official gay couple in Disney is Hugo and Jolly from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
And the earring doesn't mean much. I'm a girl and I don't have my ears pierced, so Jolly was called a boy throughout the whole movie, and
so is Hugo's a boy gargoyle.
Yeah, and then back in the 80s and 90s, they said that I don't remember which year, right or left, one of the two.
Whatever.
One of them, if you had it pierced, it means you're gay.
I think it was supposed to be the left one, but who the fuck remembers or cares?
I don't know.
Be like, you know what makes you gay? Fucking other men. That's what makes you gay.
Maybe.
And maybe. Because
that might just make you bi.
Only fucking other men makes you gay.
Alright. So, let's talk about single-parent families for a while.
Which is most of Disney.
I know. I lived in a single-parent family for about 3 or 4 years. So these always kind of had a special place in my heart.
Well, when I was doing some research on this, I didn't really even think about it, but one that stuck out for me was Toy Story. And I didn't even really think about it growing up because, I have a single mom. So the fact that Andy only had a mom was it didn't even register to me. I was like, oh yeah, Andy's mom, whatever.
Makes sense.
But when I was reading a list of, non-traditional Disney families or whatever, and they pointed that out, I was like, oh yeah, that's true.
A ton of them.
It's easier to list the traditional families in Disney than it is to list the non-traditional families in Disney.
I can't even remember the traditional families.
I know Mulan has a mom and a dad.
They have a mom?
Yeah, Mulan has a mom and a dad.
I vaguely remember this. And I watched that movie a lot.
Mulan's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
That's trans, so.
Yeah. But most of them have single parents, or they are adopted, or some other kind of non-traditional family, which is great because there's really no such thing as traditional families.
Yeah.
It's just some shit we made up this century.
Yeah, there's the nuclear family idea that didn't start having an actual name or anything until the 50s. Thanks a lot, Leave It to Beaver.
Right.
I had a friend at work saying he's older, in his 50s. So
To the internet.
whichever internet fan is listening and is in the same apartment at the same time, we might need a paper
God
towel.
damn it! Seriously?
Damn it! I think our internet is out again.
No, we're back.
And we're back. So apparently we keep cutting out like 10 seconds at a time.
That's great. That's fun.
But in case internet people who happen to also be in this apartment at the same time, Chris and the boy, I need a paper towel.
You should bring some paper towels up, boys.
Yeah, that would work. That would be good. We were going to talk about same-gender parents next. Oh, how do we not forget Finding Nemo?
Oh yeah, Finding Nemo, single dad. And not only that, but I like that Nemo's dad isn't like super macho and shit either.
Oh yeah, he's just like normal guy, trying to raise his son the best he can.
And what I like to point out to people is that in the real world with Finding Nemo, because Nemo's mom got killed, Nemo's dad would actually change sex to become his mom.
That's true.
Because clownfish can change sex depending on the needs of, you know, what they're dealing with socially. So that's what would happen in Finding Nemo. His dad would become his new mom, basically.
So Finding Nemo has trans themes too.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Kind of. I mean, not really part of the movie, but you could bring it up when you're watching the movie.
They didn't have to choose clownfish as a fish. I think that was done on purpose.
To speak in trans themes.
I choose to believe what I was programmed to believe. Okay, so same-gender parents.
Yeah.
We've talked about these a little bit.
The biggest ones are Timon and Pumbaa, totally, and Baloo and Bagheera.
Bagheera! I just like that name.
I know. And Baggy. That's what Baloo calls him.
Baggy.
To make him mad. It's his pet name.
I want to have a pet and name it Bagheera. Next cat or dog we get, we're naming it Bagheera.
Isn't one of Caitlin's cats named Bagheera?
Damn it, Caitlin!
Because she's got at least a few big black cats. So
Caitlin and her creepy ass cats.
It's just that one creepy cat with the crazy eyes.
They're all goddamn creepy. All of them are fucking creepy as hell.
But they're her fur babies. She loves them.
Fine. They're her fur babies. I guess I have my troll kitty. We're about to have another kitty.
And I've got Baby and Kess, so I have fur babies too.
Alright. I'll have to find a different name.
Because that's what queer girls do. We have fur babies. Until we have real babies.
I'm gonna have a real baby eventually.
Yep. Fur babies are practice babies.
I don't think my baby is gonna be anything like Troll Kitty. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Puppies are better practice babies than kitties, because kitties are pretty self-sufficient.
Kitties are assholes.
Kitties are practice teenagers, is what kitties are.
But I love them.
Yep.
When he's sweet, it's like, it makes up for everything else. Okay, so I do want to point out that not only is it because of the characters and the themes that Disney uses in their movies that they're queer friendly, but it's also the fact that Disney World kind of sanctions Gay Day.
Yeah, I mean, there's Gay Day.
It's not an official day at Disney World, but they certainly encourage it.
we have a running gag at the youth center where we say it's not about blank, but it's not about blank. So Gay Day is not officially sanctioned by Disney World, but it's not officially sanctioned by Disney World either.
They totally support it.
Yeah.
Encourage it.
And it doesn't just happen at Disney World, it happens at all Disney theme parks.
And you know, Six Flags encourages it too.
Six Flags has it too.
But that's Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, not a giant Looney Tunes fan.
Bugs Bunny's a huge cross-dresser though.
I guess we could have a if it's recording this or not, so I just keep talking.
And we're back.
Hey,
Fucking
what's
internet.
up? Goddamn internet.
Man, it hasn't been this shitty in a while. I don't know what's going on right now.
I don't know. It's weird.
I guess it's a good thing we're near the end of our topic.
We're almost done. But we need to have a Looney Tunes episode as well. I'll have to sit down and watch a bunch of Looney Tunes. I liked Bugs Bunny and is Roadrunner, does that count as Looney Tunes?
Yeah, that's part of Looney Tunes.
Okay. Because I know that Roadrunner was originally supposed to be like, the guy who wrote it as a satire of all those other chase shows.
Yeah.
And then everybody was
Tom and Jerry and all the other ones.
He made it as ridiculous as possible and didn't expect people to actually like it, and then people did, and so he kept writing it. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, I have like a little best of Looney Tunes thing. I think it's mostly Bugs Bunny, but I watched it with my nieces when they were staying over for like a weekend or something. So yeah, there's Gay Day at Disney World and at Six Flags, and it's like not officially Gay Day, but it's definitely encouraged. And if you want to hear more awesome queer theory about Disney, you should check out Nostalgia Chick's video. It's pretty cool, and we have a link to it in our show notes.
It's Nostalgia Chick and Nostalgia Critic together.
Yeah, I know.
Which is pretty fun.
And they make fun of the gay best friend stereotype. It's hilarious.
Which is fantastic.
Girl.
But so there's Gay Day at Disney, but there's also, like, a really long history of Disney employing gay people and having gay-friendly policies for their employees, too.
Just like, there's drink on the table.
Like, I don't know what it was. There was a year or so where, like, almost every gay man that I ran into had worked for Disney at some point. It was bizarre. Like, they were like, oh yeah, I was an Imagineer, or I was a tour guide, or whatever, and I was like, damn, Disney? That's what Disney calls their people or whatever.
Imagineer sounds like such a gay job title.
I know.
And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean it actually sounds gay. Like,
it sounds fabulous.
Yes. I want to be an Imagineer. Do you just sit around and imagine things?
It sounds like it.
Okay. Alright. So I think that's all we had tonight.
Yeah. So if we missed any queer parts of Disney that you want to share with us, you should email us at secularshethinkers@gmail.com, or you can comment on our WordPress, which is shethinkers.wordpress.com.
I forgot that we had an email.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any hate mail yet, which is amazing. Man,
we got Rebecca Watson in our intro.
I know. We had Rebecca Watson, and we still don't have hate mail.
I love her. So if you want to send your strongly worded letters
about Weezer,
judging our Weezer segments, you can send it to, what was it?
secularshethinkers@gmail.com.
Yeah, send it to secularshethinkers@gmail.com, and we will read them, and we will really take them to heart.
Or we'll make fun of you on the show.
Or that, yeah, we could do that. So yeah, you can like us on Facebook. We're Secular She-Thinkers on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. Also Secular She-Thinkers, right?
Yeah, we have Secular She-Thinkers. You're Dirty Nerdy 2, and I'm trans-and-godless.
That goddamn asshole who took Dirty Nerdy. I'm Dirty Nerdy 2 on Twitter, so you can follow me.
You should change yours to, like, The Real Dirty Nerdy or something.
I don't have internet at home right now, so I'm just texting Twitter.
That works.
When I remember. And what's next week's show going to be about?
Oh, we're gonna talk about New Year's resolutions and
the weight loss industry.
And the weight loss industry.
I remember that now.
Body shame, basically.
Yeah, how the weight loss industry co-opted New Year's resolutions in order to body shame the population.
Oh boy.
Yay!
That'll be cheerful. But in the interest of being fair and unbiased, here is tonight's counter-argument.
You open that door, floods are under the curse, tornadoes are under the curse, murderers, pedophiles, all of these things, all of that's under the curse. Abortion was a seed to it that has grown into a murderous, bloody crop of child death. And it doesn't stop with abortion. It goes on. Man, hey, all ages.
Thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And whether that killing is through abortion or drugs or suicide or anything else, you open the door to killing. It's got a lot of different manifestations. But that's the problem. If you choose leaders who say, oh, I support killing, come, we've opened the door to all of it. You got the whole thing. When a nation does something bad, it gets judgment or it gets blessing right now in the present. On the spot. Sir. Which is why policies matter. Because if you take a bad policy, you get judged for it on the spot. If you take a good policy, you get blessed for it on the spot.
David, storms and hurricanes and unimaginable murders and mass murders and all of that doesn't just happen.
It doesn't just happen. A door has been opened, and we have said, you know, we embrace a wicked policy. Okay, then I'll take my hand of protection off your nation, and whap, here comes storms like we've never seen before, and here comes floods and here comes the climate stuff that we can't explain, all the hot times and all the cold times, and too much rain and not enough rain, and we're flooding over here, and we got droughts over here. And you know, back in the early America days when something like that happened, first thing they did was issue a call for a national prayer, day of repentance, humiliation, fasting, and prayer. Yes. We have screwed up somewhere. We've got to get God's help to get blessings back on this nation. And they would humble themselves before God. And today we're saying, oh no, it's global warming. That's what, no. We opened a door that lost God's protection over our environment. And that's our choice.
Granted, you're all blasting out greenhouse gases. You're one to talk.
Lift me up, let me go on silvery. Planet smooth while you're lying next to me. Like the sun sakes.
Again?
Yes.
God damn it. I want to do this Easter egg so bad. Are we back on?
Yep.
Oh, hey. All right, we ready?
Yep.
The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world around you, right here on the ocean floor. Such wonderful things surround you. What more are you looking for? Under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter.
Oh my.
I'll be in my bunk.
Take it from me.
Good night, listeners.
Good night.